Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, November 7th, week two of the college football season. Welcome to Alabama Game Day today. Today, Alabama takes on USF at Bryant Denny Stadium. Now, obviously, the big storyline with this game is last year's game. Last year, Alabama played USF and just all out struggled. Offensive line couldn't get it going, and just not a good game. It was 17-3, but that really doesn't tell the whole story of the game because Alabama was like down 3-0 for most of the first half. So obviously the big storyline is, can Alabama have a better game against USF than they did last year when they only won 17-3. Now, most people are expecting a better game from Alabama today, and I am one of them. But you have to keep last year's game in mind when it comes to this year's game. Otherwise, if it's a similar game, then you're going to be shocked when you really shouldn't be. Anyway, both teams come into the game with a record of 1-0. Obviously, Alabama last week dominated Western Kentucky 63-0. USF also won their game. They won 48-3 over Bethune-Cookman, who's an FCS school. Betting numbers for the game, Alabama is favored by 33. So if you would want to bet the game, you could, and if you believe Bama is going to win by more than 33, you would pick the over. If you believe Alabama is going to win by less than 33 or going to lose the game, you would pick the under. Now, obviously, this is just a betting number. This is not a guarantee of what the game is going to look like. It's just a generalized number. The numbers according to BetUS, if you were wondering. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. I'm not sponsored by them. I just prefer to use them to get the betting numbers. Now, obviously, I want to put a disclaimer here. If you are going to bet the game, do so responsibly. Do so within your own limits. And most importantly, follow your state's laws when it comes to sports betting. Now, weather for the game looks to be amazing. Temperatures in the 80s to 70s. Mostly clear skies with winds out the north at 7 miles an hour. Great football weather for this game between Alabama and USF. Hopefully, we can see a much better performance from Alabama than we did last year. Now, I have confidence. I believe this team is much more gelled together. I believe with Miro in the game and his escapability, he would have made a difference last year. I think he makes a big difference this year in the USF game. But you can't, as I said, you can't forget last year's game. And this team shouldn't forget last year's game either, because if they forget last year's game and overlook USF, then things could go horribly south. Anyway, that is it for this week's edition of Alabama Game Day today. Hope you enjoy the game. I'll be back at halftime and at the end of the game to give some quick reactions. Lots of good games today. Texas versus Michigan, NC State, Tennessee, Colorado, Nebraska, South Carolina, Kentucky. Lots of good games, so hopefully you have a good week of college football, and hopefully your team wins, unless your team is USF. Alabama Game Day today will be back next week on Saturday morning. Hope to see you then. Hope to see you throughout the day. Until then, I'll see you next time. Roll Tide.